Hey, how is it going again, Guardians? LVnative here with another Destiny video. In today's video, we are going to be going into a brand new series of mine that I'm calling The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. So in this series, I'm going to be using it to review a bunch of different things, weapons, new content, etc. And it can be applied because with almost every single thing that Destiny does, there are good, bad, and ugly things that you can say about it. So without further ado, let's jump into this episode featuring the Festival of the Lost. So let's start with the good. So first thing right out of the gate, let's talk about the better and more detailed masks they have for this year's Festival of the Lost over last year's. They have some amazingly very detailed masks that I know that they put a lot of effort into, and I am greatly appreciative of it. Especially the new kind of exclusive mask, that Firewolf, kind of, reminiscent to last year's, Flaming Skull, which was really awesome, and still one that I put on from time to time. But no, in serious, that Firewolf is really cool, and the fact that if you get that emote, the Howling Wolf, and you're wearing this, it actually changes the color from a red flaming mask to a blue one. I think that is awesome. I think it would have been really cool if they would have put a actual sound into that, where you actually howled when you did it and then it turned, to the new blue, and that would be even better, but it's still really cool as it is. We also got some cool consumables, that little engram animation when you come in. Last year all we had was the bats, you would spawn in a cloud of bats and then you would be there. But now you have a couple of new ones, including, like I said, that little engram animation, which I think is really cool that they give us some extra things like this for us to experience. Now, they also have stuff like that cool, giant, big, blinking eyeball that you can be, or that flappy wing head thing, that like eyeball with the wings, that as you move and you move faster, they flap even faster. I think it's hilarious. It's awesome. I think that Destiny needs to bring more cosmetic stuff like this to the game for us to enjoy. Let's see, they also brought us some really nice shaders. You got the super black and the candlelight, and I forget what the other one was, and they're really awesome. I really like the super black with some of my sets. I'm actually wearing the candlelight on a trial set that I have, and it's really cool as well. So I really like the shaders that they bought. Along with the shaders, they also brought some new emblems. In particular, the Trials emblem is really awesome, and so glad that I was able to get my hands on that because, in a couple weeks, month down the line, 2 months, who cares? You won't be able to get that exact emblem anymore. So, it's almost like a little exclusivity. And I like that. People can be, oh, dude, how do I get that emblem? Sorry, man, you missed your chance. You had to be playing during this time. And I love that stuff. The Lost Broom, hilarious. The sweeper bot in the tower, whining, oh, I can't find my broom. It's just awesome, right? It's really cool, you get to look like Harry Potter flying around there. It's just awesome. Bad Juju ornaments, those special ones, those are really awesome. I myself was able to get the Dragon's Mane and was really happy with that because that was the one that I liked. I know a lot of people, like the other one that you can get, and it's really cool as well, but for some reason, that Dragonbane one really jumped out at me, and I love the way it looks. They put the little changes with the Trials of Osiris, with like what people are calling the spooky trials with no revives and no radar. And that was a blast, and doing it on the Cauldron, of course, for Halloween, was the perfect map choice. I couldn't think of one better. Myself, I was able to go flawless, and I got my emblems and everything like that, but, it was a really fun time. And I don't know, you're gonna have people on both sides of the coin as far as, not to bother with, trials, keep it the exact same mode every single week, but I don't know. I kind of like that they're experimenting and trying something new, and I applaud them for it, and they think that they should implement more stuff like this in the future. The sparrow that you can get looks really cool as well, as with the ghosts. So you got the ghost and that little devil ghost. Was not able to get the ghost yet, unfortunately, but I did get the devil ghost, and that guy is pretty awesome, and I'm glad that I have that in my collection. Now that we have gotten what I really like out of the way, we have to move into the bad. So, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about what is bad with the Festival of the Lost this year is that there is not enough content. Honestly, people, there's mainly 2 main quest lines that you can do, and they're over very quickly. After that, there really is not much of anything to do. there's nothing that you really want that you can grind for. You know, like at least last year's, you know, you started with making the masks where they were blue and they would go away unless you grinded enough to get, you know, like the paper glue, or, you know, the paper glue that you could make those basically from a blue to a purple, you know, to a legendary mask, and then it was permanent. I think that was really cool because it gave you something to do that was Festival of the Lost related for more than just, I think it was a couple of hours for me to basically get everything that there was to do in Festival of the Lost out of the way. I think it just needed more content, and I think we were all expecting more content. The way they hyped this up made it seem like there was going to be a bunch of new stuff that, you know, the gloves were coming off on the live team and they were going to be able to go crazy with some of the new content. And maybe they're just referring to more of, you know, towards the end of the year with the Sparrow Racing League, but I feel that they really dropped the ball as far as the amount of content that they give you in this year's Festival of the Lost. Like I said, once you do those quests, there's really just not much more for you to grind for. You know, there's just no carrot dangling in front of you to keep you going. I sat back after, you know, completing everything that I could really think of for Festival of the Lost, and this was in the first day of it, and I just sat there and scratched my head and I said, well, what do I want to do now? Well, I just went back to playing, you know, normal Crucible and making sure I had my raid done and everything like that, and I really have no more desire to go back and try to do anything with Festival of the Lost because there's really just no reward for it. That is by far one of my biggest complaints with this. One that's even higher than that happens to be the same thing that I mentioned with the good, and it is with the Lost Broom. Now, I mentioned that it was pretty funny before, but I don't think I mentioned that the Lost Broom is actually something you can go find in the tower, and if you do, you are granted with a sparrow where, you know, you're on that broom, like I mentioned before, flying around like Harry Potter. It's awesome, but they're taking it away. That really bums me out. That was one of the most fun I had on a sparrow for a long time. I don't know why. You know, I equipped it and went flying around, you know, all over the Plaguelands, basically just trying to run people over. I saw, what was it? Mr. Fruit did a little, you know, Quidditch video, which was amazingly funny. And, you know, just stuff like that. It's really, really cool. And the fact that they, you know, give us a little taste of it and then they take it away. Maybe, I don't know, add some content to where we would have to grind for a ridiculous amount of time. You know, maybe it's several hours, or, you know, something that you have to put in. But if you do it at the end, it allows you to be able to keep that broom. I think that would be not only, one, make it a way for you to keep that cool little new sparrow, but two, it would also add more content at the same time for you to grind for. And that would be a win-win in my opinion. So I'm a little bummed about them taking that broom away because I'm really starting to, you know, like flying around on it. And I know that it's going to be over in just a few days now. So that's something that really bummed me out, and I think is a really, really sore, you know, mark for this year's Festival of the Lost. Now that we've gotten the good and the bad out of the way, let's get with some of the really bad, or as like I, you know, refer to call it, the ugly. Now, the biggest thing with Festival of the Lost that everyone is talking about is the microtransactions. They suck, I know, but it's a part of it. I've come used to it. What I haven't become used to is making it to where the only way I can get some of the absolute most desirable content in this Festival of the Lost is by paying for it. The biggest problem are the treasures of the Lost. Now, you're able to get a maximum of 3 of them for free if you have 3 characters, and not everyone does, but if you have 3 characters, you are then able to, you know, get this Treasures of the Lost. The big problem with that is you can only get those 3. There is no amount of grinding, no special quests that you can do, no, you know, up, down, left, right, BA select, start to unlock anything. So the only way you can get more of these Treasures of the Lost is with using actual real world currency to buy your silver in order to buy them. I think they're 200 silver each, so basically that's like $2 a pop. And, you know, everything that you want, you know, that you really want to grind for, especially all the collectionists out there, stuff like the Firewolf mask, both of your ghosts, you know, the Ghost and the Devil Ghost, your Sparrow, your Bad Juju ornaments, all of that stuff that people are really going to want can only be obtained through the Treasures of the Lost, which again can only be, you know, received by spending real world currency, other than those first 3 that you can get for free. That's one of the quests that you go through. At the end, you get the Treasure of the Lost, and you do have a chance on getting one of those desired, things for your collection. Here's the problem with that. Problem number 2. Not only am I only able to get 3 of those for free without having to spend real money, but the stuff that I really want has an insanely low drop rate. It's been estimated through a lot of calculations through, other YouTube creators and Twitch streamers that they are roughly dropping about 2% drop rate for, stuff like the masks and the ghosts and everything like that. And that is really, really horrible, guys. The fact that you're making, us as in the community pay for this, and you only make the stuff we really want with a 2% drop rate, I mean, that's just a double whammy. And it's really unfortunate that, they said it that way. I know people who spent, $80, $100, $150. I believe I heard of one streamer that spent upwards of $500 and still did not get the exact item they were looking for, whether it was, the ghost or the mask, whatever it was, I don't remember. But these guys spent all this money, and a lot of them still did not get every single one of those collectibles that they wanted. That's ridiculous that you would spend that much money on this and still not be able to get that content. They needed a way, I think they needed to make it a way for us to be able to get that without having to pay for it. Maybe do an insane amount of grinding just to get one Treasures of the Lost. And at least then, we didn't have to pay for it. We just had to put in some time, and we would be able to get one more shot at it. At the same time, bump that drop rate up a little bit. 2% drop rate is just insane. It really is, and it's, a huge discouragement, and it almost really feels like this is just an event not to give us more content, because we barely got any. We got some cool collectibles that we can keep, if we're able to get them, and if we have enough money to get them, but they really have made it difficult for us to get anything, and I should say everything that we want out of this expansion. And it almost feels like this is just an annual fundraiser to help the company out, and that really stings. I just out of principle, I do have a little bit of money lying around, not a lot, but I could have spent $50 or $100 on those treasures to get some stuff. I just didn't really feel it was worth it, and I felt it was really unfair that they would make you do that just to get those items. So almost as to make a point, I'm not doing it, even though they're not going to notice that I'm not. Who cares? Me myself, I just didn't feel I wanted to buy into it and support that. So I got my 3, and I think I bought one extra one. After that, I just said no, I'm not going to pay a bunch of money just to get this stuff. And the fact that I could pay all that money and still not get exactly what it was I wanted, I'd be a little sore about that. So I didn't really even do anything. And, Bungie, in my opinion, for this particular little move that they did, making anything that you really want, something that you had to pay for, and then, on the same time, just so they can laugh it up a little bit more, made it such a ridiculously low drop rate. They really should be ashamed of themselves for that. I'm not saying give away the house for free, but maybe, if you want the ghost, you pay 1,000 silver. Bam! If that's the one thing you really want, you can just pay for it up front and get it, and you don't have to dump a whole bunch of more money to do so. I mean, I get that this is not a charity, it is a business, and Bungie is trying to make some money with it, but this almost feels like they're really trying to scalp the hardcore players that have been there from the beginning and just want to collect all this stuff, instead of giving us more content like we were promised. That's gonna, kind of wrap it up with the good, the bad, and the ugly. I know it sounded like I was hating on it a lot. There were some good things, and I enjoyed a little bit of what I did, particularly, the little trials change I thought was nice, and fun and a cool twist. And I did like a couple of the shaders that I was able to get, as well, as some of the cool masks. I just don't really like the way that they made it, the only way for you to be able to get some of the stuff you really want, such as the masks and the ghosts and, the bad juju ornaments, stuff like that, is to pay real world money. It's not a pay to win, but it's a pay to get what you want, and not even necessarily cosmetic, just more from a collector's standpoint. So that is a big thorn in it. Overall, I had fun with it. I just wish that they didn't drop the ball so much when it came to the microtransactions on it. I think they pushed it a little bit too far with the microtransactions this time, but still had a fun time. Hopefully next time they do something like this, it's not going to be quite a money sink, you know, and we'll be able to have a little bit more fun for more than just a couple of hours, something that maybe can last closer to the 2 weeks that they have it going. But anyways, guys, I've rambled on for too long. If you've made it this long, thank you so much for supporting the channel. I greatly appreciate it. If you did enjoy anything about this, please go ahead, do me a favor, smack that like button for me. It really helps my channel out. Also, comment in the section down below, and you let me know what you really thought about this year's Festival of the Lost. I'm dying to hear other people's opinion. Let me know if you liked it, hated it, what you would change, stuff like that. Really would love to engage in a conversation with you guys about that. And if it's your first time to this channel, first of all, welcome. And it's your first time here and you made it all the way to the end of this rambling, thank you very much. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You will not be disappointed. I've got lots of great new content coming for you. If you do that, you know, hit the subscribe and turn your notifications on, you will be the first one notified once I upload a new video. But as always, this is LVnative. You guys are awesome, and I will see you in the next one.